Rihanna's tweet, the farmers' protest, the Modi government's response, sedition cases, access to the protest site being cut off to many members of the media, Twitter handles being withheld, global superstars tweeting, Bollywood and cricket superstars tweeting back. Which of these should we take seriously and which should we tune out? That's the focus on Media Buddhi today. Hi, I'm HR Venkatesh. Here's what's ridiculous about the whole thing. Farmers in India are in the third month of their protests at the Delhi border. Over this period, it's not just 1,000 farmers, but it's lakhs of farmers who've been involved. And in recent weeks, they've had access to food and water cut off, their electricity, their internet is cut off. They're hemmed in by the police in recent days by what looks like preparations for a war zone. Yet it took one tweet, 6 words by a global superstar, Rihanna, to unleash the government's propaganda machinery against the world. It started with Rihanna's tweet, of course, but then we also had Greta Thunberg's tweet, we had Meena Harris's tweet, we had Mia Khalifa's tweet, the adult actress, and overnight these 4 women's tweets and other voices of support for the farmers seems to have resulted in this coordinated series of tweets and actions by the BJP government's IT cell. And why do I say that these were coordinated or these seem to have been coordinated? Look at the tweets that we're talking about. Sachin Tendulkar, Anil Kumble. Now, these two people are not political at all. They hardly ever tweet. Ajay Devgan, Akshay Kumar from Bollywood, all men, incidentally, in these examples, they use the same hashtag India Together and India Against Propaganda. Now, these are people, especially the cricketers, who haven't said anything about the farmers in the last 3 months, and yet on the same day, they're all tweeting with the same hashtags. Surely, this seems to be a coordinated effort. Now, it's a well-known fact that the BJP government is not as sensitive to criticism within India as it is to criticism from outside India. Now, for example, within India, they don't always use cricketers or film actors. Yes, they do it every now and then. But in the past week, we've seen journalists within India have had sedition cases slapped against them. And these are not small charges. These are actually serious charges. The protest site in Delhi has been cut off, for example, and it's barred to most media persons except a few. So what is going on? How should we think about this story now as regular people who maybe we look at the news every now and then, or maybe we look at newspapers? How are we supposed to deal with this? Here are 5 strategies that I recommend. The first is we have to learn to ask intelligent questions. And this is not something that we can do for just one story or another story. We've got to do it for pretty much every story. So in this particular case, we can ask questions such as, where were these cricketers and Bollywood stars in the last 3 months when the farmers were protesting? Why weren't they tweeting in support of the farmers? Why did they all tweet on the same day using the same hashtag? Who told them to tweet? Were they in fear for their careers if they did not tweet? And so on. And the second strategy, really, other than asking intelligent questions, is it's very closely related to it, is that we should not be cynical. We have to be skeptical, though, in our approach to all stories and to all angles, to all perspectives. That is, we have to learn not to take everything at face value. So we have to be skeptical, but as I said, we should not be cynical. When we're cynical, we look at everything from the same lens, and we tend to look for conspiracy theories. And from there, it's a short step towards thinking of the world as just one conspiracy theory after another. And this is quite tricky, making sure that you're skeptical, but you're not cynical, but it can be done. And if you start looking at ways to do it, I'm sure you will find ways to do it. Now, the third strategy really is to get rid of our echo chambers. We've done videos on what echo chambers are in the past, but essentially it all refers to our tendency. And when I say our tendency, I mean everyone, me, you, pretty much everyone else, our tendency to look for and support only news and views that we already believe in. So for example, if I'm a BJP supporter, I will only support and share news that I believe in. And the same if I'm a Congress supporter, and so on. This is known as the echo chamber effect, and it can be quite dangerous because we're completely cut off from other legitimate views because they happen to be from the other side. And so echo chambers and related algorithmic filter bubbles are a major problem as well. Number 4, now we know that propaganda it almost always comes from big governments and political parties and big corporations, because only they have the resources and the time to get the same message repeated across, recycled, reinforced several times, and sent to millions of people. And the thing about propaganda is it is designed to appeal to your emotions. So if you feel yourself getting angry, or your hatred is being sort of provoked, or anxiety is being provoked, you have to suspect that it might be some kind of propaganda. It appeals to our emotional side, not our rational side. And propaganda doesn't always use the truth either. And the fifth strategy I recommend is we have to always ask ourselves, what is the real story, or what is the real news story? Because we live in a world of information overload, and we lose sight, and we can lose sight of the story, the real story, very, very quickly. For example, is this story really about Rihanna and Greta Thunberg? Is it really about the Indian cricketers and Bollywood stars? I don't think so. The real story, to my mind, emanates from this core example, or the core thing, which is the farmers' protest, how the farmers are protesting, why are they protesting for the third month, how is the government talking to the farmers, is there a good faith sort of demonstration from both sides, so on and so forth. And also we've got to look at who's using propaganda and for what means. And these five strategies apart, of course, we're going to be inundated by news stories like this on a daily basis. We already are, obviously. One thing to keep in mind, if your views are being informed by what's going on Twitter, remember, Twitter does not represent all of India. By last count, only about 19 million people, that is Indians, have Twitter accounts. That is less than 1% of India's population. We leave it there. Thanks for watching.